Hey guys, it's Rachel, and if you see my face is a little bit shiny, it's because I've been filming for the past several hours because I'm trying to get caught up on filming, and so that's why I look a bit shiny. Also, it's starting to get dark outside and I gotta get this done today, so we'll just have to excuse the colors and whatnot. So today I have for you guys kind of different video. It's going to be a Rachel Recommends videos. I've been asked in the past to do a recommendations video, but I decided to go ahead and start with a bang. So today's Rachel Recommends is going to be over LGBT friendly reads. Now, I personally really enjoy stories with LGBT characters in them. I find them usually to be quite endearing, really great, solid writing, and I think that I haven't seen a video that has a lot of LGBT reads in them, so I thought I would go ahead and show you guys some books that I believe are LGBT friendly. But now with all these books that I've mentioned, not all of them have main characters that are gay, but there is some kind of LGBT aspect somewhere within the book, so I think that you guys would really enjoy these. If you guys have any LGBT friendly books and you think that I should read them, go ahead and leave me them down below. But other than that, let's go ahead and get this started. So the first book that I have to show you guys is going to be The Realm of Possibility by David Levithan. Now, you're going to see that David Levithan is a running theme within my Rachel Recommends video, because David Levithan himself is gay, and he writes a lot of stories that are ambiguous, as in you don't know if it's a male or a female. So I think that's really great, and I think that's why he's a really good LGBT friendly author. This story is a whole bunch of short stories. It's got 20 short stories in there from high school students. Some of them are gay, some of them are straight. All kinds of weird things. There's a main character in here who is obsessed, or there's a character in here who is obsessed with Holden Caulfield, so that's really interesting. But this is, like I said, it's got 20 short stories from high school students. Some of them are gay, and I think it's really, really great. The story is told in verse, so it's very easy to get through, and I really like David Levithan's writing style in here. If you want something very quick to get through, I highly recommend this. I think I got this on Book Outlet, where I get a lot of David Levithan's books. But if you guys are interested in a short story kind of memoir type thing, then I think this would be really good, and it is the first one of the first LGBT type books that I ever read. The next is going to be another David Levithan book, and it is going to be one of my favorite books of absolute all time. That's going to be The Lover's Dictionary by David Levithan. Now, the main character in here is, like I said, it's ambiguous. You do not know if the main character is male or female. You just know that the love interest is, I believe, female. It is a beautifully written love story, and it's told in dictionary format, so every page has a word, and then it has a little passage that goes with it. This is a beautiful, very raw, realistic love story between two characters who have so many trials and tribulations through their relationship, and it is so beautifully written. I have a lot of inkling, a lot of feelings towards this book because they relate to me in so many different ways, and it's really beautifully written. The story deals with alcoholism and a lot of different things, and it's really beautifully done, and it's such a bold book. I think that David Levithan took a leap writing this book, especially in the format that he did, but I think that he did a really great job of it, and I would love to one day meet David Levithan and just to shake his hand and be like, yo, thanks, bro. The next book is going to be Aerosol, Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz. I read this book really recently, and it is so beautiful. This has LGBT themes in it as well. I'm not going to go into super detail about what this book is about, but it's about, you know, pretty much about two main characters named Aerosol, Dante, and the friendship that they form and the two very different lives that they lead. Also, something so great about this book is the family dynamic on it. There's family is very prevalent and very important in this story. The two main characters' families. It is told in the perspective of Aristotle, but Dante may as well have had his own passages in this book. It is so beautiful. I really enjoyed this, and I can't recommend this enough. I know it gets a lot of praise, and it deserves all the praise that it gets because it's so beautifully written. Another wonderful aspect of the story is the family and acceptance. I think acceptance is very important, and this is such a beautifully written book, and I highly recommend it. The next book is going to be More Than This by Patrick Ness. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why would you put this book in this this video? Well, if you haven't read this book, I will just let you know that this book is about a main character named Seth, and at the beginning of our story, Seth has died, and he has woken up in a kind of purgatory, and he's not exactly sure where he is, and slowly the memories start coming back, and he realizes that he is in a place that was not very happy when he was alive, and then the story becomes a story of survival. This is a beautifully written story by Patrick Ness. Patrick Ness has wonderful writing style. He's one of my favorite authors of all time. This book was very easy for me to get through, just like most of his books are. And our main character in this story is gay, and I was very surprised by that. I did not know that he was gay, and I did not expect him to be gay. Not that it was like a bad surprise. I just didn't expect it, and I think that it gave the story another aspect to it, another layer to it that made it so wonderful. I highly recommend this book. It is so beautifully written and so easy to get through. It's one of my favorite stories of all time, and I think that if you want something that's going to really shock you, then this book is going to be the book for you. The next book is going to be Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Now, our main characters in this story are not gay, but our main character, Kath likes to write fan fiction in the form of, based on Simon Snow, and Simon Snow is like our Harry Potter, but in the fan fiction that she writes, Simon Snow is gay, and he is in love with Baz, and Baz would be like, I guess you would say, the Malfoy of Harry Potter, and they are two gay characters in her fan fiction that she writes. This book is really wonderful. I love Rainbow Rowell's writing style. I loved Kath in this story, although she got frustrating to me several times, but I think it's because she was so relatable. That's what made her so frustrating. Levi is one of my favorite love interests of all time. He's a book boyfriend, always and forever. I loved his character, and I just think that this is really great. Even on the cover, you see Simon and Baz, and they got hearts around them. So if you want something like contemporary, lighthearted read, really sweet, with aspects of gay fan fiction, then I think that you would really enjoy this book, and I highly recommend it. The next story is going to be one of my favorite books of all time. That's going to be Love Letters to the Dead by Ava De La Rhea. I picked this up, and I read it the day that pretty much the day that I picked it up. This is a beautiful story following our main character, Laurel, and Laurel is given the assignment in school to write letters to people that have died, and she chooses to write them to characters who have had and died tragic lives, like Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, River Phoenix, just people like that. Another aspect of the story is that Laurel's sister has died, and she's trying to cope with that and live kind of in her shadow. This is a very deep story. It hit me. It did make me cry. I have not felt a lot of the emotions that I felt this book since I had read The Fault in Our Stars, and it is a really wonderful story. The main character is not gay in this story, but there are two lesbian characters in here that are they're coping with it. One of them is sure she's lesbian, the other one is not, and they're trying to deal with it and to accept themselves within it. It is a beautifully written story. I recommend this book to a lot of people. It is so beautifully written, and this is really good. The next book is going to be Ask the Passengers by A.S. King, and this follows our main character, Astrid, and Astrid is struggling internally with herself on whether she is a lesbian or not. She is also struggling with the fact that she actually kind of has a girlfriend, and her girlfriend wants her to come out, but she is really unsure of herself. There's a lot of family dynamics in here. The mother in the story is not one of my favorite characters of all time. It was really painful to read the relationship that Astrid has with her mother, but this is a really great book. I really enjoyed it. Another thing that's great about this book is that there is magical realism, and I believe that is a kind of a running theme with A.S. King books, but the magical realism in here is that she's laying down in the grass, and she is talking to the passengers, and she is sending them love, and you get snippets of passengers that are on the plane who reading their stories, and she just sends them their love, and it's so wonderful. This book is really good. It is not the most amazing book of all time, but I really enjoyed it. And if you want something where the main character is struggling internally with coming out, then I think that you guys would really enjoy this book, and I really did. The next book is going to be another book by David Levithan, and it's going to be Every Day. Now, this one is a really interesting, this is one of my favorite books of all time, one of my favorite covers of all time, written by one of my favorite authors of all time, and basically this follows the main character named A, and A wakes up in a different body every single day. The person could be white, black, gay, straight, male, female, any kind of, even different languages. A wakes up in a different body every day. One day A wakes up in the body of a guy named Justin and meets Justin's girlfriend Renone, and A falls in love and decides that A wants to stay in that body and try to form a relationship with Renone. Something really interesting is that Renone loves A personality wise. Renone loves A, but when A comes in the body of a female, Renone has to cope with it and to try to decide, I love your personality, but am I okay with the fact that you're in the body of a female right now? This is a really, really beautifully written book, really interestingly written book. I highly enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And the ending of this book is just so heartbreaking. I did not want the ending that came with this story, but it makes sense. And another thing is that David Levithan is writing a companion book for the story. It's told in the perspective of Renone, and I'm really anticipating it, and I'm really hoping that he keeps with the same, that the publishers keep with the same kind of book, the covers as this, because I think that would make it really good. I really enjoyed the story, and I think that it has something in it for everybody, and I really highly recommend it. But other than that, those are just some of the books that I thought that you guys might want to pick up if you were interested in reading LGBT themed or LGBT books. If you have any recommendations, again, please go ahead and link them down below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!